Well, by the title, you may be wondering what I'm about to say. And this has been a video that I felt like I needed to make for some time. I'm trying to make sure this is focusing on me. I'm hoping it is. Yep, maybe. Um, this is going to be a completely unedited video. Just boom, here it is. I'm going to try to speed up the frame rate just in case I need to play with settings afterwards. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Never mind, it is what it is. So if it's shaky, accept it. Mary and I are separated. So, I wasn't sure I wanted to make this video, but there were some comments on some of the videos that had come out on actually both channels in regards to, hey, we haven't seen you guys riding at all with each other. And I have been doing a lot of riding, and like I said, it's been now between 5 and 6 months. In September it'll be 6 months. So it's we were together 23 years. That's including like dating. 22 years. We had just celebrated our 22nd year anniversary. And I don't know, maybe, and I was still not even 100% sure what the cause was. I've come to terms with it. Whatever it is, it is. But yeah, it was just one morning. We were on the couch, and she just kind of turned to me and said, I don't want to be married anymore. Yeah, that was my Saturday. Yeah, that was my Saturday. It's almost 6 months ago. Why is this sliding around? I'm trying my best here, guys. I am. I'm driving and trying to do this at the same time. Anyways, maybe that's better. Anyways, just kind of get this to refocus on me. There we go. So I was 100% blindsided in regards to that. I had no idea that was coming. I had no idea she felt like that. It was just, to me, out of the blue, to her, I'm guessing she had been thinking about it for some time. Now, there's probably a lot of backstory in regards to maybe what caused this. I don't know. But anybody who has watched my videos for a long period of time, we may know some of the mental lows that I have gone through in the last 5-6 years. Going back, say, 6 years ago, when I was living in Ottawa and working for Apple. I worked for Apple for 11 years, and the last few years of working there, it was a real mental hardship for me. I was like stressed all the time. I had no work-life balance. I was working full-time there. And near the end, of course, I started making the YouTube videos. So I went part-time there, or I tried to go part-time. Officially, I was part-time, but they were still scheduling me for, 30, 32, 35 hours a week. So I lost all my benefits and everything that came with being full-time at Apple, but they worked me just as hard, which was not good, especially since I was trying to, build up and also try to focus on my YouTube stuff. So I was putting 30 plus hours in a week at Apple and putting 20 to 30 hours a week doing YouTube stuff, sometimes even more. So of course, when COVID came, I finally decided that I was going to give up the Apple stuff, which again was stressful because that was a big piece of income that I was losing. So I was stressed during that. And of course isolation and things like that. Now the isolation part was a big one, and again I had gone on stress leave at Apple twice during that time, just because I was so like mentally down. I was down. I was fighting depression all the time. I was fighting anxiety. So during COVID, of course, we decided to sell our house and all that stuff and move to Nova Scotia, which I thought, what a fantastic idea, because we can move there, kind of start over. Cost of living should be lower. We don't have to make as much money to kind of survive. Mary ended up getting a really good job, which she was making more than like she's ever made before, which was fantastic. I could try to focus primarily on YouTube stuff. But the first year especially, but the first 2 years most definitely, I had gone to counseling and therapy and all kinds of stuff here and there. I'd seen multiple therapists and all that kind of stuff, and they're just like, with your anxiety and your depression, and the fact now that you've moved to a new province and you work by yourself from at home, and you don't know anybody, and really you've spent, I don't know how long I've spent with COVID, not really associating with anybody, and then pretty much almost 2 full years working by myself and not having any association with people. The isolation got to me in a bad way, really bad. I was not doing well by any means. Luckily, I did find some friends, some motorcycle riders, of course, that were very, very helpful. They were something that I really need. The issue, of course, with that is that that's very seasonal, right? So it was good in like the summer months because I could go out on occasion and just kind of see people or whatever. But I was still, 98% of the time by myself, right? Yes, Mary would come home, but because she'd come home and be tired or whatever, or maybe she just didn't want to hang out with me at that point in time because I was so, anxiety ridden and so, again, depressed, and I wanted to be around people, but I also didn't want to be around people at the same time. And I think that didn't want to be around people was because I didn't want people to see my anxiety and see my depression and things like that. And so I would just be like, I'd rather just hide in the house. But we never had the opportunity, or had the opportunity, but we never over this last 3 years, outside of going on vacations and things like that, we just never really spent any time together as a couple. And my fault, her fault, doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter at this point in time. What's done is done. But yeah, it I went on excuse me, I went on this motorcycle ride. I was very tempted to cancel it because financially for me, I'm losing a big chunk of dual income, right? That income that Mary was bringing to the table, because she's, I make it okay with YouTube. It's definitely not something that I'm going to be well off, or my heights can survive. But the two of us together were finally after 20 years, I felt we were finally in a financial area that we could do well, right? We were doing good, and yeah, that rug got pulled out from under me, and 5-ish months ago, and she broke the news to me that she didn't want to be married anymore. I kind of went into panic mode. I really did. And it may be something that, you saw in some of the videos. I was lucky enough that I had a lot of videos pre-created already, like queued up for YouTube. Because that month I was in no frame of mind to be making videos by any means. I was, my anxiety and depression, if 100% is here, 0 is here. I was sitting here, maybe like at 40%, maybe 50% on a good day. And after that happened, I was sitting at about 0, 10% of like being able to get myself to do anything. So, it was hard. Again, I started going back to therapy again. And my therapist and I talked a lot about the trip, the big cross-country motorcycle trip. And she's like, it really doesn't matter how much it costs. You need to do it. You need to go. You need to be able to spend those, like I'll be with friends, but because I'm on a motorcycle, you're spending 6, 8, 10, 12 hours kind of by yourself with your thoughts, on the bike. And it was hugely beneficial, I think, for me, because it really allowed me to, I don't know, think about what's happened, think about where I am now, where I want to be, think about the future, what I hope that it has for me, I guess, whatever, things like that. Yeah, it was good. It was highly needed. When you do start seeing those videos, like I will be making full-length videos on that trip, you will notice that at the beginning there's a lot more like video of me talking and stuff like that, and kind of as you get a quarter and a half and 3/4 of the way through the trip, there's way less talking, because I was more in my head at that point. And again, I was trying to not show that side during the trip until I was able to make this video, I guess, and let you guys kind of see where I am, see where I'm at, see how I'm doing. And yeah, it's 2024 definitely had some ups, and definitely had probably the biggest down that I have ever experienced, for sure. Definitely. Now, you may see, maybe you will, maybe you won't, maybe you can't, I don't know. This car, not my car, is full of my stuff, because it's time for me to move. Time for me to start the next chapter. So over the month of September, I will be moving my stuff, as much as my stuff, out of the house. And I am moving to Dieppe/Moncton, New Brunswick. So about 3 hours away from where I was previously. I may have to end up renting like a U-Haul to take all the bigger stuff. But right now, again, just because I got back from the trip and I'm still a little tired, a little exhausted, I'm just taking car loads. But 3 hours there, 3 hours back, plus loading. Like today, for instance, I don't even know what time it is. It's almost 6:30, and I think I left this morning at, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning. So they're long days to be able to take just a kind of a car load full of stuff. So I have to think on how I can do it more in like, I think probably a U-Haul truck or something like that I can rent just for a day / overnight. Is probably the best thing for me, especially since I can't put certain things in this. They just won't fit. Now, on the not really bonus, on the positive side of it is that in Moncton, there's reasons that I'm actually moving there, because the two options that I had was to try to find a place, close to where I currently live. One of the big ones was I wanted to not be far from Harley, but you know what? She's in university. She's usually busy most of the time. She's a grown up now, and I just 3 hours is still fine. It's not hard for me to drive here, pick her up on a Friday, and hang out with her for the weekend, and or bring her back to Dieppe / Moncton with me, and spend the weekend with her there, or whatever. I'm not that far, because the other two options were, like I said, finding somewhere there, but the prices inside Nova Scotia right now for especially like rental, not interested. I'm just not. It's just too much. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's no way that I'm going to be able to afford to rent and do all that stuff with my YouTube's money. So weirdly enough, it felt like the stars kind of aligned a little bit. Karma kicked in and said, you know what, it's time for you to have something that's going to help you. And I was like, yes, please. Because I was looking for part-time. I've been looking for part-time jobs in, Nova Scotia, Halifax area, especially Valley area. And a lot of them were good for me. Like, I'm a good fit, and you never get anything. And I blame ageism is what I blame, because, especially in media, are you going to hire a 20-year-old or are you going to hire a 50-year-old, So, yeah, I blame ageism for that. Any company out there, yeah, I'm looking at you. Anyways, here's the upside. 5 months, 6 months, between 5 and 6 months, I'm dating. Yeah, I'm dating. I am. And I'm dating a lovely lady, a lovely woman. She is just a couple months younger than I am, so we're very, very close in age. And she manages, I guess, runs, I don't know, the company that does training. And weirdly enough, my background is in training, of course, and media. So she hired me on and to be a trainer and do like photo video stuff for the company. So with the two of those together, I should be plenty good. And it's nice to have somebody. This isn't a dig by any means. It's nice to have somebody that, I don't know, just really, really, really wants to spend time with me, which is something that I truly need in my life, right? Really wants to spend time. She's very, very caring. She's very supportive. She's super interested in what I want, what I want to do, and that's highly refreshing. It is super positive. It has taken away. I'm not going to say it's taken away all my anxiety, because that'll take some time, because it doesn't matter how amazing she is. I was still hurt, right? I was still hurt, and I don't necessarily want to go through that again. So I was, not that I'm coming at it with skepticism by any means. But I do definitely have a bit of my guard up, if that makes sense. But she's wearing that guard down for sure, which is great. It really is. It's really great. Yeah, I'm gonna miss 100%. I'm gonna miss the life that I had before. I don't think that'll ever go away. Because there's just a lot of things that I had thought would be forever. Thought they would. It was forever. I thought this was our forever house. I thought this was my forever partner. I thought I would live in Nova Scotia forever. We moved there with my thought was this was going to be our, like I said, forever house and where we retired. It's a confusing time for me a little bit, but I'm trying as best as I can to really close that chapter. And I think the hardest part is trying to close a chapter that didn't necessarily end on a very positive note, but closing a chapter that needs to be closed, and I'm starting a chapter that is desperately needing to reopen, one that I can come at with a lot more positivity, one that I can come at and things that I maybe messed up in the last chapter, I can learn from them and make sure I don't make those mistakes again. There's certain things I promised myself that I would do, and certain things I promised myself that I would make sure that I would try as hard as I could not to do again. So we shall see. Anyways, I wanted you guys to be aware of this. The next few weeks, like I said, will be me kind of moving around. I did pack up most of my camera stuff, not all of it, but most of my camera stuff, so that I can start making videos, because I do have a little office. I actually have a little office. The place that hired me for the training and photo and stuff like that, I have an office which I can set up as my YouTube studio. Not as big as the room that I was in, for sure, but you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm kind of excited to have an office that's away from where I'm living. It allows me to, again, see people, which is good. It allows me to get out of the house, which is great. It allows me to have purpose, to get out of bed and have to go to work, and not just walk into a different room. I think that's going to be really good, really important for me. And the nice thing is I'll be working with my new lady, which is really great. So we can spend some time together, and again, she's been super supportive, and yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be great. Anyways, you guys will be seeing more videos in the new office as soon as it's set up. I do have videos made currently on, the review channel, almost till the end of September for every second day. They were actually all made before I left on my motorcycle trip. So there will be some sporadic videos posted in those, because I have to get some done. So they may have different backdrops, they may have different rooms that they're taking in, etc., etc. But I want you guys, number one, is to realize I'm doing okay. I spent enough time so that I wouldn't be an emotional wreck when I tried to make this video. And that's it. I guess I'll thank you for your support, because I know that there's going to be a ton of comments probably on these videos on both channels. And If you have things to say them. Don't be an ass. You know. Yeah. And I'm gonna be okay. Harley's gonna be okay. And yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. All right, guys. Yeah. Next chapter starts right now.